This is Fiber Gray Wolf from Native Voices, Turtle Island. Today I have a special guest. His name is Feerce Truth Seeker, and he is the host of the Red Road East. Hey, Fierce, how you
Hey,
doing?
all right, yo, everybody in TV
Hey,
land and YouTube land.
in
Yeah,
YouTube land. I want
yeah,
to thank you for inviting me on your show yesterday and finishing up for Native women for Women's Month.
mm-hmm.
It was very enjoyable, and I love being in BronxNet TV. And thank them also so much for inviting me. You're out there doing great things. And can you tell me some of your future endeavors?
Yeah. Well, some of the future endeavors, definitely looking to continue to upgrade the channel, like you're doing right now, and catch up to you as you have your new upgrade. Um,
25.
Yeah, you
Not too
got the
bad.
you got the upgrade on StreamYard, so that's one of the future plans is to upgrade the channel and you know um, it's a work in progress. As I'm taking it step by step. Trying to get more um, up to date in terms of technology. You know,
Put
because
some nice native things behind.
exactly. Right now it's just a basic StreamYard account. You know,
Well,
but
this is very informal. You see me wiggling around.
yeah, yeah. This is definitely informal. As you know, I'm just starting the day off myself. Um, but yeah, looking to make more upgrades. Also, bring more of the culture to the people, you know, um, and on many different fronts, and some documentaries. Definitely want to try to have the book published by.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about your book?
Yeah, well, as you know, that book is like about almost 30 years in the making. um, basically the book is, basically telling our story as indigenous peoples of the East Coast and the Caribbean, um, which is highly neglected academically. A lot of people know about the Indians of the Western Plains, um, and the other tribes outside of the U.S. borders, but they don't know much about, or some people don't even know at all about the tribes of the East Coast, and they think that all of the quote unquote natives had relocated out west or had been exterminated. But
Exterminated.
and that's far from the truth. And this particular book that I've been working on is addressing that topic, from many different perspectives. And I am looking to have the book published by no later than I'm aiming for July.
July. Oh, that's around the corner. After
Yeah,
30 years. That's
yeah.
wild.
You know, again, as I had mentioned on a previous show, the reason why it had taken so long is, it's been, I have so much information until I'm constantly, you know, um, adding on to the information that I have already. And, I keep saying, oh, well, I got to include, this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that. And it's hard to streamline, you know, a whole lot of information. So, I'm taking your advice where, I'm just gonna have to do the book in volumes.
Volumes. Oh, you
Like,
remember I said that. You
I
have so
remember.
much information.
Yeah. So it's gonna have to be a volume one, volume two, and because it's too much to try to compile into one book. And also, when I started writing the book back in the 90s, a lot of that information, not a lot, but I'd say a good, hold on a second. Okay. I'd say a good quarter of that information is not relevant in this particular day and time. And I say that because certain issues that needed to be addressed during that time period is now common knowledge.
Hmm.
And so I'd had to revise and fine tune some of that information to fit into this particular day and time that we're in. You know.
Now, can you tell the audience briefly what your heritage is?
Yeah. Mine is Aniumia, which is the principal people Cherokee. Um, on my paternal side, um, and there is other indigenous nations in there as well. There's Mayan Pima, um, and also my father is saying that there is some Seminole in there as well. I'm still confirming that, but it's looking like that is confirmed. Um, on my mother's side um, is the Carib Arawak.
Now, is that what prompted you to want to connect and share the history with people through you writing this particular book?
Yeah, because I had grown up knowing the from my family, from my parents, and also from my grandparents, our indigenous heritage. But as when you're young, you don't really you're more interested in going out and hanging out with your friends, and you're not really thinking about stuff like that.
Right,
And
right.
it wasn't until I got a little older that I started to become more conscious. More so, I was looking at in the earlier years. I was due to hip hop.
Mm.
I was, because at that time, you're talking about the late '80s. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the mid '80s to early '90s. Hip hop was more. It wasn't like hip hop today. Hip hop today is more. Um, it's more materialistic. Um, there's a whole different vibration now.
Yeah, it's a new
Gang,
genre in its own.
yeah, it's more gang oriented. Um, things of that nature, drug oriented. Not that you didn't have those themes in early hip hop, but it was a lot more diverse in terms of subject matter, that things that people were rapping about.
Right, right,
And
right.
once the mid 80s um, started, then you had people talking about um, things that were socially and politically um, relevant. And you had a lot of people were talking about African history and stuff like that. Um, Islamic um, people putting like 5% Nation of Islam, wisdom in their songs, and so you know, and people talking about stuff like religion and you know, things of that nature, uh, um, religious, what they call liberation theology, and stuff like that. The people like Rakim, people like Lakim Shabazz, people like Public Enemy, KRS-One, You Must Learn, and things of that nature. So at that time, I was trying to find a link to Africa, you know, and so I had started doing genealogy. And well, I joined different movements at that time,
Mm,
and I wound up actually going to Africa. I was living in Africa for a little while.
really?
Yeah. And went there on a fact finding mission. You know, um, and at that time, you know, um, I was when I came back to the states, I became really interested in really getting deeper into my genealogy.
Mm,
And um, so I had some relatives who were um, saying that you know there was a particular ancestor um, who they said was from Africa.
mm,
Um, but when I actually talked to some of the older people in the family, I had come to find out that that wasn't the case.
oh,
And so, that was, kind of frustrating for me because, I was running around telling people, hey, I'm from Africa.
right on, bro.
you know and so um especially when I was in Africa, they were trying to figure out well, where, and blah 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 blah, and, you know and so when I started doing the genealogy and I was trying to find an ancestor who may have been a slave or may have been from Africa, I couldn't find that. and it just became more and more frustrating for me, because I was trying to sell my family on the whole, you know, Africa thing, particularly on my father's side, and it gave, how they give you that look, like
Yeah.
I don't know about all that,
Yeah.
Um, some family members were saying, okay, you may be on to something, other family members, giving me the cross-eyed look, you know, and so going back to my grandparents, you know, and particularly my grandmother and great grandmother, grandmother on my maternal side, my great grandmother on my maternal side, and I got the genealogy, and they started, you know, um, particularly down south, you know, they would have the genealogy in the Bible,
Oh, okay.
and they would write down, the whole genealogy in the Bible. And so I would look at my grandmother's Bible, and I would, you know, ask her about these particular ancestors and stuff like that, you know. And she would tell me who is who, and she'd always say, yeah, you know, such and such was an Indian, such and such was an Indian, blah 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 blah, you know, and I had always heard that, coming up, but when you start going to college, 'cause I was a young college student, when I was, when I went to Africa, this, that, and the other. So, you go
Hmm.
to college, you have
You
this,
went on a quest.
yeah. And so when you go to college, you kind of think, you're more intelligent than people, you like, it's that's just how it is,
Right.
you'd be like, all that sounds good, but I got education, all that stuff, forget about all that stuff y'all talking about. I know, a little more than you know what I'm saying? there's an air of arrogance,
Arrogance, yeah.
based
Being
on
young.
and based on the misinformation, and indoctrination
Indoctrination.
that you get in school, you know. So when you go to school, they tell you all this stuff. Oh yeah, people who look like you, y'all come from Africa, and life started in Africa, and blah 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 blah, with these apes and monkeys, and
Yeah.
you know, all of that stuff. Um, so when I started, sitting down and listening to the elders and getting the genealogy, and also taking that information, and then I started doing a family tree, and I bought a book called Black Genealogy, and that particular book explained how to put together a family tree.
Mm.
It gave a in the book. It's one of the books that I sell as well.
Mm. Okay.
I do book vending, in my spare time,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
And so, there's a book called Black Genealogy, blah, 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 and it gives you a template in that particular book on how to put together your family tree. And and in the book, it said that less than 5% of the Africans who were brought here, and I'm using that word, quote unquote, Africans, who were brought here via the transatlantic slave trade, less than 5% of them actually came to North America.
Mm.
And they say in the book, that's what it says. It says, sadly to say, you know, less than 5%. And that was a serious blow to me,
Mm.
because I was trying to find Again, I'm listening to Public Enemy. I'm I'm listening to all these different groups. KRS One and blah blah blah, the X Clan, and all these different um, groups at the time that were African centered.
It's strange that I don't mean to cut you off, but it's
Mm-hmm.
strange that you mentioned Public Enemy because I met Chuck D's mother,
Mm.
Judy, and she was very proud of her Indian heritage.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah, she was very. I think the native name she used at the time was Black Butterfly and
Yeah, I remember you told
Cherokee
me that.
heritage. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was
And
very proud. So I'm trying to figure out how that all works in with everyone is from Africa. You're not um, saying that there wasn't a certain percentage. You're just saying that a lot of people who thought they were directly from Africa are really indigenous, aboriginal to this land.
mm-hmm.
And I know, according to a lot of books and pictures you showed, the features and the hair textures, the different phenotypes of natives. People really need to study those and see if they still have the same philosophy after the education that you've been showing for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
No one's discrediting African ancestry for everyone, but definitely through the pictures and drawings of phenotypes, like the California Indians, they had woolly hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing the diversity that we have here on Turtle Island. You see my little logo up there,
Yeah,
Turtle Island.
see the turtle right up there.
Right, my objective is to show and tell different stories
The
of native
turtle.
voices. Yeah. Of native voices, and yours is one of the great stories. Researching, I helped you do a lot of research, and
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to invite you back again to co-host a show or two. And I know you're into nutrition and spirituality and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be talking about all of those things, and I'm cutting it short right now because you have so much to tell. And
Yeah. But
I know I took you away from your busy schedule to help me on my quest today.
oh, it's okay.
I'm going to be interviewing someone at 6. So I enjoyed having you.
Thanks. Let me before you go. Let me just finish up with that
Yes, please.
part. Um, so I was trying to, I'm listening to, X Clan, blah, 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 all these different groups. So I was, it was devastating to me not to be able to find something definitive um, about, the link to Africa. Um, and with that book on the quote unquote black genealogy, that's the title of the book, Black Genealogy. So what I did was, what I was thinking was a roadblock. See, I was thinking that because when I did the genealogy ended here in America.
Hmm.
I wasn't able to extend that genealogy to a slave or to
Hmm.
Africa, anything like that. And so, you know, um, to cut a long story short, um, there were, like I said, there was a rumor of someone coming from Africa, um, but there was no documentation. And, each time I was speaking to a particular cousin of mine who was saying this, um, each time that they were presenting that information, I would do the fact check, and the fact check said otherwise, said to the
Said
contrary.
otherwise.
You know, there was no, um, each ancestor that they were saying was from Africa. When I fact checked with other relatives, they were saying no, that person was not. That person was. I like the let's okay. I get specific. The ancestor in particular that I'm referring to, that they were saying was from Africa, was actually not from Africa. That
Not from
particular
Africa.
ancestor was from Venezuela.
Now, do you know anything about Alex Haley's story? Because I heard that when he did the movie versus the book, he had to leave out some Native American heritage. I think
Well,
somebody was Cherokee.
yeah. On Malcolm's father's side, the Little, their last name is Little, and
Little
they're actually Cherokee.
Cherokee. You said Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Alex Haley claimed Cherokee as well, but that
Right.
was
Oh, you're talking about Alex Haley in the book Roots. Oh, I was
right.
thinking about the Malcolm X. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In Roots, right?
Roots,
In
roots.
Roots, yeah, yeah. Um,
Do you know anything about
right.
that?
Yeah, because
Mm-mm.
that it with Alex Haley, his in the book it talked about Cherokee ancestry,
Mhm.
um, as well as Africa.
As well as
Um,
African.
but in the movie, they left
They left that out.
they left that out.
Hmm.
You see?
And I heard it was purposely done to leave that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. And I met. Um, give me 1 second.
Yes,
I must take this. Fill in
yes,
for
this
me
is
while
all
I'm coming.
informal.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. I apologize,
No, no, no.
but I'll
I
talk
took up
as
your time.
no, it's okay. But yeah, I met a relative of Alex Haley years ago, and as a matter of fact, I was supposed to have that particular relative on the show, and I
Really?
have to see. I think I still have her number in my
Please.
contacts.
Yes, please.
1 second. Hey, you just called? Sure. Okay. Oh, actually, you know what? No, because we don't have any cereal, so don't really need it for anything unless you just want it. Okay. Uh, Yeah, I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look her up. I believe I still have her.
Write that down because this is very important.
True, true. Yeah, you're right. Let me write that down right now.
My objective is to educate as much as possible native voices of Turtle Island.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah, I'm gonna look her up and see if I can get her because she did say she would come on the show. Um,
That would be awesome.
she was a practicing Yoruba. She
Oh,
practiced the
Yoruba.
Yoruba
Okay.
religion, but she told me because she saw me with my. I was on the train and I
Hmm.
had my choker on, and she acknowledged it, and she said that her family was Native,
Was native, right?
Native
Yes.
American.
Hmm.
See, and that is a relative. I think she said Alex Haley was
Right. Yeah.
either her uncle or her grandfather,
Mm,
something like that. I can't remember, so long ago. Yeah.
that's awesome. I
So
know
yes,
that James Brown, Apache, right?
Apache. Yep, I think he's Apache, Apache, and Cherokee.
Mm,
Yeah, he's a couple. He's more than one tribe,
yeah.
as well
I
as
know.
Asian. As well as Asian, he's Asian as well.
Okay, I know LL Cool J. A lot of these celebrity, of course, Beyonce and
Mm-hmm.
Felice Richard and Debbie Allen, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
Ice T, Ice
Mm.
T.
Okay.
Snoop has a
Oh,
percentage.
Snoop for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Um. And so a lot of people, like with my story is not unique, in terms of, where you have relatives who are saying, such and such a person came from Africa, blah blah blah, and then you fact check and you find out it's not true.
they can't. They
And
can't trace it.
I was like, man, at one point I had stopped telling people that, because I'm like, I'm looking like a real fool here, you know, you know, because it just wasn't checking out. And so that's not to say that it's not there,
Yes, yes, I
but
understand.
without any proof, it's just hearsay,
Right,
you
right.
know. But now, my story is not unique, because there are plenty of other people who had people in their family to say things of that nature, and when you do the fact check, you come to find out that it was just somebody in their family saying that because they wanted to have a link, um, to Africa,
Right,
to be able
right.
to say they were African. You know.
I just heard yesterday Chris Rock, Seminole. I don't know how true, but
Oh,
someone that we know very well. I won't say his name on camera because he didn't give me permission to
permission.
repeat this, but he
Mm,
told me in a message that uh, Chris Rock was indigenous Seminole. Now you
mm,
know you have to fact check that,
mm-hmm,
but the person is a very reputable person, has written books and
mm,
been a historian, but something,
mm,
so I'll speak to you off camera,
mm-hmm,
but this is what he told me yesterday. And I found that
mm,
very interesting. A lot of celebrities are indigenous to,
mm-hmm.
you know,
Debbie Allen and
yeah,
Felicia
Debbie Allen,
Allen, Felicia
yeah,
Allen. Yeah.
Texas
Mm,
Cherokee, as a matter of fact, and Beyonce,
mm-hmm,
part of my lineage. You know,
mm. Yeah. Yeah. A
you
lot
know,
of them.
a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of
them.
them.
So it's awesome.
Melly Mel
Melly
from the
Mel and everything.
Grandmaster Flash's
Right, I've
Jewel
met him
side.
in the Bronx. I met him.
Yeah, I see him all the time.
I used to.
Yeah, I always see him. I mean, I always run into. I've never said anything to him because I just don't do that. I don't, run up on people like that. But for some reason, I see that guy everywhere. It could be in the Bronx, even one of the gyms that I used to go to. He was a member of that particular gym, Johnny Latz.
Oh
In
wow,
Manhattan. You know,
wow! I used to see
um,
him in the Bronx.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I run into that guy everywhere, but I've never spoken to. I've never say, "Hey, Melly Mel," or nothing like that. I just, because people, I give people their
Face,
space. Because a lot, you don't, you just got to put yourself in their shoes.
shoes,
You
yeah.
don't want, to be all the time bombarded with people running up
Right,
to you and
right.
stuff like that. So I
Approaching
just don't
you,
do. I just
right.
never. But I see him everywhere. Yeah.
That's awesome. So when
Hmm.
you come back next time, Well, I have two shows to do with two young ladies. One is author, and one is into natural healing. Um, I would like you to be able to also show some pictures of the different phenotypes of Native Americans. You know,
Sure.
because this show is tries to air all of the history,
Mm-hmm.
and as well as personal. You know, histories of someone in their family, maybe their talents or whatever. It's just Native voices, you know.
Mm-hmm.
No one's being discredited or whatever. It's just sharing history and voices.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that you can come back next week.
Sure. Sure. Definitely. Looking forward to it.
You
Looking forward to it.
have the Red Road East viewers come over and maybe ask you some questions or cheer you on. You are our affiliate sister channel,
Mm-hmm.
and my godson as well. I love
Yep.
you
Yep.
very much. Thank you for coming on my show today.
Yeah, there's a the Firebird is family. You know, it's my godmother. You know, she's literally family because you're married to my cousin. So yeah, yeah, I'm proud to be on the show, and looking forward to coming back.
All right
You got
then.
my support. As a matter of fact, I'll see if I can maybe on my community page. I'll see if I can put the link to this show that we just did in there. I'll see if
Well,
I can do
someone
that.
is on here. Our Nessa is on there.
Oh, okay. Hey,
Can you read
yeah.
what she's writing? I don't have my glasses on.
Matter of fact, let me look and see because
Hi,
I
sweetheart. How are you?
let me look at the channel and see if I can see who's in the chat. 1 second. All right, let's see here. Give me 1 second. I'm logging in on the other computer so I can see who's in the chat.
Can you read what she's writing?
Once I log in, yeah.
I just wish we were all together in New York and doing some historical studies together. You know,
Okay, yeah. Yeah. That's my family too. Awanasa.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you got more. Oh, you got a few people in here.
Tell them
You got
hello. Oh,
you got
see y'all.
Lil Mayhem, Wild Indian
That's my boy. We were
TV.
talking yesterday.
Oh wow. And you got Cobra Assassin.
Hi, Cobra.
Yeah,
Bless your little heart on my little young warriors.
yeah. Um, and okay, so I'll read the comments. So Lil Mayhem says Shio, um, Awanasa says Shio to us both. And Awanasa's asking, did I publish the book myself? I will be publishing the book myself. Yes. And she also says hip hop today is garbage. Very true. Very true. They
That's
have some
three
underground.
votes.
They have a few underground artists out there, who are, making real stuff. But for the most part, like, this
I
is,
hear
like I said, it's
a good
garbage.
amount of variety on, believe it or not, an app called SoundCloud.
Oh yeah,
You kind of
SoundCloud.
hear
Yeah,
a variety of rap in different
right.
genres,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not so bad, compared to
Hmm.
what the mainstream stations are playing.
Yeah. She also says Zulu. Yeah. Um, like Oprah, was running around here telling people she was Zulu, and she's not
She was
Zulu.
what?
That she was Zulu.
She's Zulu. Okay.
Remember, she opened up the school for girls out in
Oh
South
yeah, yeah,
Africa,
yeah.
and she
And
was saying because
what
she's
was that
Zulu.
man's name that tells everybody they're from?
Yeah, that it
What's his
started
name?
with Skip Gates.
Yeah,
You know, um, Henry Louis Gates. You
yeah.
know, him and Rick Kittles.
We should debunk him.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Matter of fact, there we go. Um, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
Put that down on your list of things to
Yeah,
do.
because I debunked him in my book. So we're gonna do that series.
Okay, write that down as a list of things to do.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna do that series. Okay, like how we did it back in the days.
Back in the day, 30 years ago.
you
Woo.
know. Hmm.
Yeah, put that down on a list of things to do. And
Yeah,
tell your audience, I feature all types of Native people,
yeah,
which
yeah,
Truth Seeker has done too.
yeah,
And we're going to keep doing that and showing the world the diversity of Native people and their contributions.
yeah.
Uh,
So
you
so
know,
for my audience, Firebird's channel is the sister channel to the Red Road East. As you know, the Red Road East, hence the title, is
Native
specifically,
voices.
yeah, Red Road East is specifically East Coast, that hence the name, and the Caribbean. Firebird show is pan Indian, the whole, not just the East Coast, but East, West, North America, South America, the Caribbean, across the board.
I,
Um,
I think I might be getting invited to host a Cree sister. Someone
mm,
told me that she just danced for the Pope, and they
mm,
mentioned her to me. So I'm going to see how I
mm,
can arrange that. Also, a Blackfoot sister
mm.
um, that she plays guitar and everything.
Nice, nice.
We're trying to do it and spread the love at the same time. And
Oh yeah.
those that are willing to come on board, come on board. It's
Mm-hmm.
my motto. If they want to march us out, they're not going to care about color line, hair texture. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
mongoloid eyes or almond eyes or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. They're just going to do it.
Oh
So
yeah.
much respect to everyone.
Mm-hmm. You want me to continue reading the comments?
Yes.
Okay. And Awanasa also says, the out of Africa theory is only a theory, which is true. Um, the grandparents kept, she says, the grandparents kept accurate records in the Bible. Sometimes births were not recorded immediately, they were delayed. The midwife wrote the info in the good book. That's true. That is true. And she says her grandmother's cousin called darker skinned people Blackfoot Indian, but that wasn't true. It was more like an insult.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it had two meanings. One an
yeah.
insult and one to describe a particular tribe. In
Mm-hmm.
reality, Saponi people are really said to be the Blackfoot
Yeah, the Saponi. Right.
Saponi Nation, and the
Right.
Blackfeet are a whole entirely different tribe.
Exactly. Because you had the Blackfeet
Browning,
up in
Montana.
Montana, Browning, Montana. Exactly. Then you had the Southern Blackfeet. You talk about the Saponis, who were a branch of of the Sioux, so-called Sioux Lakota. Um, and so there you have that. Then, if you want to talk more anciently, um, you had the ancient ones that were here that were also black feet that were because as I talk about this in the book, the black feet. You had the Kemites or the Egyptians here in the Americas, where this was the original, actually the original Egypt here. And one of the names for the Egyptians was Blackfeet.
And it's funny that you mention that right now because Thomas Jefferson used to go to Long Island to the Uncle Chunk people,
Mm-hmm.
the Montauk people,
Mm-hmm.
and he would gather up their languages. Mind you, he wanted to remove everyone. He thought they were noble, but he wanted the land. He wanted us to have the land. When I say us, I mean, people that he feels should have the land, and which is our land now and always has been. But he would gather up their languages as he was hoping to move them out.
Mm-hmm.
He had the first idea, or his group appears for actually the American Indian Removal Act, not our boy on the $20 bill, but Thomas Jefferson started that.
Jackson.
That, yes, Andrew Jackson. That was his dream. Andrew Jackson just saw it through.
Yeah, yeah.
And Thomas Jefferson would gather up uh, these languages, and actually, a lot of people don't report. He also was looking for a lost tribe of that he felt was out in Long Island, part of he thought was a part of Egypt, and he named the pharaohs. He named the chief pharaoh.
Right,
Gave
right.
him the last name Pharaoh.
Yeah,
That comes
yeah.
from Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, I remember you
A
gave
lot
me
of
that
these
piece of
people,
information years ago.
yeah, a lot of these people, they're Masonic or they have secret orders,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a lot of things and have rituals, and they know more than what they let on to know.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, he named the pharaoh name is still alive and well in Long Island under the Montauks, and they go back very far with the name Pharaoh.
That's true. Yeah,
You know,
that's true.
so it's so much we could study and talk about and share. And I thank you so much, and I thank everyone for coming on my show. I hope no one is offended, but this is actual reality. Uh, and you really need to sit and learn, from historians like Fierce Truth Seeker, even myself. I'm not a book writer, but I am a historian.
Oh
And
yeah. Hey, you're a clan mother. You know. You know.
yeah, I'm representing my tribe, but still representing myself. I try, to be a leader in that sense and,
Mm-hmm.
educate and,
Firebird is a clan mother. She is officially uh, enrolled in a tribe with a. She has a tribal card and everything. She's the real deal. You know.
you all
Um,
all are the real deal.
we all are the
Yeah.
real deal.
But,
Let me correct that. We all are the real deal.
yes.
But she's speaking um, from the standpoint of somebody who is actually part of a tribe. Let me say it that way. Yeah.
Yes.
But we all are the real
So
deal. That's a
we'll
fact.
say government standards.
Government standards, yeah, whatever
But
that
I
is,
honor all of you. You know, we're
hmm
all the real deal. You know, just
exactly.
those guidelines that they put on us. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we have Cobra Assassin. He says Islam and peace and love to the both of us. Islam, Cobra Assassin, Islam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, and also Awanasa says the Gullah Geechee are said to be from West Africa, but her Georgia family and South Carolina say they're not from across the pond. And yeah, you know,
Well, a lot of them say they're from right here. I
yeah,
have heard them say that as well.
yeah,
You know,
and
and when I was younger, I didn't think any different. You know.
hmm and I talk about that in the book. I'm not going to talk about it now. I'm not going to spoil it. I want y'all to get the book, but I get into actually proving, you know, that they are in fact indigenous. Now, that's not to say there may not be um, a connection there somewhere down the line, but they are indigenous. You know,
They are indigenous.
um, and so let's see. Also,
Mm-mm.
Lil Mayhem says. He says, my granddaddy was from Idaho. He was Blackfoot and grandson son of a chief. He was kicked out of all the villages, but not killed because of his granddaddy
Mm-mm.
made his way to Tennessee and has my granny there.
Awesome news.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a story to share on my show as well as yours, and
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate what he just shared with us. Another paper genocide. The Northern Cheyenne are actually a Eastern Woodland tribe. You know that they migrated, so everyone thinks they're from out there,
Exactly.
but they're
Exactly.
part of Eastern uh, woodland history as well. Just that they've
Mm-hmm.
been gone for a long, long time. So
Yeah.
they helped put a hurting on Mr. Custer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I even heard one elder say that the Lakotas was from the east originally. I
Yeah,
don't know how true it is, but that's what I heard.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it also um,
Mm-mm.
alluded to as much in that article that you gave me years ago on the Southern Blackfeet or the Southern
Mhm.
Blackfoot.
Blackfoot. There's Blackfoot and Blackfeet.
Mm-hmm.
And people
They
get them mixed up.
exactly
You know,
not the same
not the
people.
same at all.
Mm-mm.
Well, I enjoyed the show. This was not expected. This was something I asked Fierce Truth Seeker to do.
Very impromptu. Yeah, very.
You know, and we're going to have a part two on it. I hope everyone got something out of it. And I like to hear their stories as well one day. They come on my show, on Fierce Truth Seekers show, and share their personal stories. You know, that would be awesome. And I'm scheduled, I have to let him know, 6 o'clock to have another show. So I'm going to get off the air now and reach out to this young man. And I will speak to you backstage.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay. And
everybody, on the doctor, honey.
throw the dog a hunt.
Anigi do, peace and blessings.